Do you ever look at the price of an apartment and wish that it were a little bit lower? Yeah, me too. Well, I've got some good news. You might be able to negotiate it lower, or at least talk your way into some perks that would make it a much better deal. Whether you're looking for a new place or you're aiming to renew the lease on your current one, you might have more power to negotiate a deal than you think. That's because the rental markets have seen some big changes over the past year. More renters are choosing to stay put, and more rental units have come on the market, increasing supply. This all adds up to lower demand for the available rentals out there in nearly all of the 50 major US metros that we analyzed. So, how do you get the courage to negotiate with your landlord? And what are the best strategies when you're doing it? Let's find out together. Hi everyone, welcome to Learn with Zillow. I'm Lindsay Cohen from Zillow Rentals. Not only is it possible to negotiate the amount of rent you pay every month, but you can also negotiate perks like free parking or other benefits. Of course, your success will depend on your situation and your landlords, but the current rental market may offer you some surprising opportunities to cut a deal if you're smart about how to ask for them. So before you start negotiating, there are some things you can do to prepare. Step 1. Prepare to negotiate. Okay, first, let's line up your references. For those of you looking for a new rental, it's a good idea to line up some references, especially from former landlords, who can vouch that you pay your rent on time, you maintain the property, you flag problems early on, and you don't cause trouble with the neighbors by playing the bongos at 3 a.m. So if you won the building's Best Tenant Award in your last rental, now would be the time to brag about it. If you're a first-time renter, you can use references from work or school or activities, like sports or clubs or people outside your family who know you well. Be sure to include contact information so the landlord can follow up with them. And be sure to give those references a heads up that somebody could be calling. Next, get your credit score in good shape. A good credit score lets the landlord know you pay your bills on time and you don't take on too much debt. From there, determine your budget. You should make sure you know how much rent you can afford so you know how much room you have to negotiate. You can easily do this with Zillow's rent affordability calculator, which we've linked to in the description box below. Step 2. Do your research to make a case. Okay, once you're ready, you need to make a credible case for lower rent, or any concessions you might be asking for. This means researching the place you're staying in, the local market, and/or the rental market where you want to live to see whether concessions are common or they're rare. Zillow publishes rental data on the share of concessions being offered in the nation's 100 largest metros. The data also includes rent trends and vacancy rates, information that can help you gauge how much bargaining power you might have. For instance, did you know that more than 2 out of 5 rental listings on Zillow offered a concession in January of 2025? And concessions increased in 48 of the 50 largest US metros over just this past year. So check out the Zillow rental dashboard for data just like this, as well as the monthly rental market reports on Zillow's research blog. After that, scope out some rental listings online and make notes comparing rentals similar to the one you're considering. That means if you're looking for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment that's got a gym and some covered parking, make sure the comparable units or comps that you're picking match this in size and amenities. When you find those comps, save the links and also screenshot the listings in case they get rented and the link goes away. You'll want to have this on hand when making your case to the landlord. And if you're considering a specific apartment building, check out what other units are renting for and whether the property manager offering concessions such as 1 month's free rent or free parking. Lastly, if you live in a place where the use of rental brokers is common, like New York City, check to see whether there's a broker's fee involved. If so, you could ask the landlord to cover the broker's fee as a concession. Step 3. It's time to negotiate. Once you've done your research, you should be able to make a good case for concessions, if there's a case to be made. A tight rental market where listings are snapped up quickly might be a tough sell. But If conditions seem to favor renters, you may be able to make a case to lower the rent. So let's take a strategic approach to your search to find a rental with good odds of agreeing to concessions. Consider units that have been on the market a while. Most rental listings on Zillow show the amount of time the unit has been up for rent, the number of times the listing has been contacted, and the number of applications that have been submitted through Zillow. If it doesn't seem like a hot rental, it's safe to say you can attempt to negotiate. If you're searching outside of Zillow and the rental's been on the market for a while, ask whether the landlord, the property manager, or the broker has any pending applications. And if not, you guessed it, negotiate. A lowball offer, though, is likely to get rejected, and it could end negotiations before they begin. So play your cards right and make a reasonable offer. And remember the research you did and those comps that you saved. Have this ready to show the landlord. Here's another idea. Pitch to the landlord a longer lease term, 2 years instead of 1, for example, or if possible, paying several months' rent up front. Alternatives to getting lower rent. If negotiating a lower rent isn't an option, your negotiation isn't necessarily over. Consider concessions other than lower rent, like free or reduced parking costs, a utility credit, free Wi-Fi, or even waiving some pet fees. If you're in an apartment building with amenity fees, consider asking your landlord to waive those as well. Whatever you ask for, take a professional approach to the conversation. After all, you've got to maintain this relationship whether you get everything you want or not. How you negotiate can set the stage for a beautiful and productive relationship with your landlord if you end up renting with them. For ideas on how to ask clearly, we've linked to a sample script in the description box below. Okay, hopefully that negotiation went great. Maybe you got some favorable terms that you didn't have before. Remember, once you've struck an agreement with the landlord, the new terms should be in writing in your lease. Do not forget this part. And that's it. Be sure to like and subscribe so you see more helpful content from Zillow Rentals. Drop a comment below. Let us know if this guide was useful or if you've got more questions for us. We've also linked plenty of helpful Zillow Rentals tools and resources in the description box below, so be sure to check those out. Hey, good luck negotiating, and thanks for watching.